Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So in today's tutorial we're going to go ahead, as this is going to be a YouTube series, so we're going to be learning Node.js in JavaScript. So we're going to be going over Node.js, MongoDB, and we're going to build a simple movie API that is going to be storing data about movies and stuff like that. But you can feel free to build the API into anything that you want. So that's what we're going to be building in this new series. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is that let me just say some prerequisites that you have to have. So the first thing is that you have to know a bit of JavaScript, and secondly you have to know a bit of JavaScript, and you have to have Node installed on your computer. Okay, those are the things that you need to get started with this tutorial. So if you're new to JavaScript, you have just finished the fundamentals, or you just want to learn a new backend framework in JavaScript, then Node.js is the best place for you to start. And you're going to learn Node.js, you're going to learn Express, and you're also going to learn MongoDB, and we're going to create a CRUD API using those technologies. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, first of all, you need to have Node.js installed on your computer. So just go to nodejs.org, and then you can find the installation. You can just click on this and then install the latest installation. So after that, after installing it, I prefer that you install this one because it's a long-time support version, while this one is the current one. So just install this one compared to this one. Okay, so just install the one of 14.8.0 LTX for long-term support. Okay. So now that you have that installed, I assume you already have that installed, so you can just go node and then ---- and then version, and this will tell the node version that you have on your computer, running on your computer. I have node version 14.17.1, which is very close to the current one. Okay, so that's okay. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and create our project, a folder for our project, and then we get started coding. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create a directory. So I'm going to create this directory, and this directory is simply going to be, I can call it node CRUD API. Okay, just like that, node CRUD API, or you can call it node basics, whatever you feel comfortable calling it. So now that you have created this, and you can see that it has popped up on my desktop right here. So now that you have created that, you can go ahead and actually begin to code. So let me just change directory into my Node.js, and you can see we are in there, and then we have nothing inside of it. Okay, so for Windows, how you show the folders, you do dir, and then it will show all the folders. For Linux and MacBook, it is ls. Okay, so you don't have to use a terminal, you can just go ahead and actually open your folder and then work for it that way. But you might knowing how to use a terminal is a big advantage for you. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and actually install what we need. So I'm going to go npm, make sure to have npm installed. So you can just go back here, and then you can just search for npm install, and then whatever operating system that you are on, and then you can just google that. That will bring you to you can just click on this one, and then it will show you how to install npm. Npm stands for Node Package Manager, and you can just install npm just by googling it, and then you can find npm, and then you can install it. That way. It's very simple, and you can do it that way. Actually, I'm not sure if npm comes with Node, but that's something that you can actually find out. I think it comes with Node, and then yeah, I think it doesn't come with Node, but okay, you can just go ahead and actually install that yourself, and then you can easily check out. So I think it comes with Node, so you can just google that. If that doesn't come with Node, then you can go ahead and actually install npm. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and begin coding. I believe it comes with Node. Okay, so you don't have to actually install it, but if it doesn't, you can just check it out. You just can do version, and then you can just run this. This will show you the version of the npm that you have on your machine. And then now that we have that started, we can go ahead. This is just taking some time, so let's just wait for it. Okay, I have npm 7.24.1, so that's one of the latest because I just updated it recently. So now that you have Node.js installed, you also have npm. Now we can go ahead and actually begin to install our packages. So you can just go npm init, and this is going to create the npm folder on your starter template folder on your computer. So you just press enter, and you just go ways ahead, and then this is going to create the basic template that you need. So you're going to ask a couple of questions. You can just press enter, and then if you want to fill in, you just fill in if you want. But I'm not going to have a repository. I'm going to pass in the author. I'm going to all the authors print scrumper, and then I'm going to pass in the license. I'm going to type in yes, and then that is going to create for me my directory. So if I do ls or dir, or if you're on Windows, you can see you have that folder right there. So great. Now that you have that folder, let me just open this in Visual Studio Code, or feel free to use any editor that you are comfortable using. So yeah, now that will get you started. And once that you have that done, we can go ahead and actually begin to see what is inside there, and then we begin to install the other packages that we need. So let's just wait for Node.js for Node to open up, and then we can begin to code. So my PC is a bit slow today, I don't really know why, but yeah, does it the VS Code is going to open just in a while. So once VS Code has opened, we can go ahead and actually install Express. So we're going to be using Node Express to run our API, to build our API, and Express is built on top of Node.js. So once you have Node.js and npm, you can easily go ahead and actually install Express. So to install Express is very simple. So what you need to do, you just have to type in npm install and then Express. So we can do that here. So just npm and then install. We can use I for install, or you can type out install completely. So all that works. So you can just say install, and then you can just let's wait for VS Code. Let's open up here. You can just say install, or you can just say I, and then you type in Express. So Express like that, and then you press enter. So this is going to go ahead and actually install Node.js Express on your computer. So this is going to install Express on your laptop. So let me just go back and open up Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code has already opened up, and we have this package.json file here, and this package.json file just contains the basic things that our application needs. So we can just see the basic information and stuff like that. So we'll come back to this just in a second, but for now let's wait for Node.js to install, and then we'll be back. Okay, so let me just go back here, and then we go back to Node Express. Okay, so the ones that we have Node Express. So this is my PC is a bit sluggish today, but just bear with me. Yes guys, so I can see that I've already installed Express install. So I've just did a quick Google and about Node Express and Express and sorry, between npm and Node and Node itself. So Node comes with Node.js comes with npm now. I've installed this some time back, so I didn't check up on this, but Node, what I've just googled on the internet, that Node comes with npm already installed. So they come together, so you don't have to install npm once you have Node installed. Okay, so if you guys have any problem, just let me know in the comment section below. Okay, now we have Express already installed. So now I also want to install one more thing, which is just going to be nodemon. So I'm going to go npm install nodemon. So the reason you're installing nodemon, you're going to save it in the development dependencies. You're going to pass in this, and then you're going to press enter. So is npm install nodemon, and then you can say -- save - dev. Okay, you can also just type in here I if you want, instead of just install. Okay, you can type in here I if you want. So that to press enter, and that to go ahead and actually install nodemon for us in the development dependencies. So that's going to put Node in the development dependencies, and this is what makes it go into the development dependencies. So let's just wait for Node to install, and then I'll be back. As you can see here, okay guys, I'm back, and you can see that I have already nodemon already installed. So great. So now we begin coding. So I'm going to clear my terminal, and then I'm going to go navigate to Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to go to Visual Studio Code, and you can see all the things that you have installed. We have installed Express, and it's here, and then you have installed nodemon, and it's also here. Now this once you install it, it will automatically put it in here. You don't have to specify anything. Since you have used the - save - dev, that's why it's under development dependencies nodemon for nodemon, while Express is under dependencies. So if you don't use - save - dev, then it will be here, but since we use that, that's why it's in development dependencies. So that's how we put an installation into development dependencies in Node.js. So now that you have that, you can go ahead and actually set up this part of our code. So this is what you're going to use to run our npm. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call it start. And what you're going to do here, there are two ways to do this. You can run this using nodemon, or you can run this using you can just run this using node using the normal node itself. So you can just say node and then app.js. Okay, this is JS, and then you just set the development dependencies, and you're going to be using development dependencies most of our time. So you're going to say dev, and then you're going to say here this is going to be nodemon, and then app.js. So just like that, and then we can go ahead and actually save this. Now that we have that done, we can go ahead and actually create a folder in our an app in a file within our project root directory. So I'm going to create this, and I'm going to call it simply app.js, and app.js is the file that you have specified here. So whatever file that you have specified here is what you have to create here, and that's where we're going to run our program. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually create a simple program, and then I'm going to run it. So I'm going to say const, and I'm going to call this const, I'm going to call it express. and I'm going to say express, and this is going to be require. So I'm going to require, and you're going to pass in here this is going to be express. You're going to pass in express because we require express for that. So in the new JavaScript, you can keep semicolons, or you can decide to leave semicolons out. It's up to you and your preferences. So I'm going to leave it out, but you can keep it if you want. So I'm going to go const, and I'm going to go app, and this is going to be express. You're going to instantiate that express that you have just imported. So great. So now that we have that express app here, now we can go and begin to listen. So I'm going to create this listen app.listen. So we're going to listen on localhost. This is listen. You're going to just listen on localhost at port 5000. So I'm going to type in here port 5000. Don't make sure that you don't choose the lower ports because they're used by your operating system and your computer stuff, other stuff within the computer. So make sure that you choose higher ports like 5000, 8000, 3000, and other stuff like that. If you're also running React along with your Node.js, I think React's run on port 3000. So make sure that you avoid port 3000, but port 5000 is what most people use in a Node. Okay, so I'm going to pass in an arrow function here, and then what you're going to do is just going to say console this is going to say console.log, and you're going to say server running on port. I'm going to say port 5000, and then that's also going to say port 5000. So I'm going to type in 5000, and then yeah, that's basically it. So our server is going to be running on port 5000. So let's just go ahead and see how we can start up this server. So I'm just going to come up here, and I'm going to type in here. I'm going to type in the following. So make sure that I'm going to do an ls. For Windows is dir. You see the files that we have in here, and then we have this log package log.json. Don't worry about that for now. We're just going to type in we're going to type in node app.js, and then we can just type in node app.js, and it's going to run our node app for us. So it's running on localhost at port 5000. So if you go back to our browser, and then we can type in here localhost at port 5000, what we'll be able to get here is just going to be the server running. So it's going to be this is local, let me take the spelling of localhost at port 5000. So I'm going to type in here 5000. So make sure I get that right. Localhost at port 5000, and then I can press enter. So just press enter, and this is going to now bring our server, and you can see we have this right here. So we have a get request, we have an error, we can get a get request, but this shows that our server is running. So great, because that error information is coming from our server. So that's how you set your server to listen on a port. Now let's create a simple route to return a hello world. So I'm going to say app.get, you're going to just say / we're going to display the root directory, the root URL, and you're going to pass in here res, and sorry, this is going to be a request, and it's going to be res, the response and the request. Okay, so that's what those two stands for. The response is just res. So what you're going to do here is going to do rest.send, and then you're going to what es. So what you're going to do here is going to do rest.send, and then you're going to send hello. World. So that's what we're going to do, and then we can just do rest.end just like that, and then we can end that up. So now we can save that, and then we can go back to our terminal. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. Whenever I go back to my terminal, I'll still run my app again, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to stop this and by simply pressing Ctrl+C. So I can go ahead and actually do node app.js, and then js, and then this is going to start the node app again on our server and on our machine on our local host at port 5000. And now this is started, so I can go back here, and then I can go and refresh this. So whenever I refresh this, it's going to just return to us a simple hello world, and that's all we're going to get. So let's wait for this, and then it's going to return a simple hello world. So now that I've refreshed that, you can see we have a simple hello world, and I can just zoom in for you guys to see. You can see I have a simple hello world right there. So that's how you can create a simple hello world API using Express. So that's basically it, and now let me show you how to run this, other ways to run this. So I'm going to stop this by pressing Ctrl+C, and I'm going to clear the terminal. So another way to run this is by saying npm run dev, and then you can just press enter, npm run dev, and what is going to run, let me just bring you back to VS Code, is going to be running this what you have specified here. So npm run dev is going to be running this part of the application. So it's going to be running this part which is said here. So npm run dev is going to run dev, and then nodebone.app.js. Okay, we actually made a mistake, so this will be app.js. So now let's go back to the terminal, and let's make sure that everything is right. So I'm going to stop the development server since we made an error there, and I'm going to start this again, and it's just going to, the npm run, and you can see it's running this on our using nodemon. And what nodemon does is that it keeps tracks of changes, means that we don't have to constantly start and restart our server again. So nodemon is going to keep track of changes and then help us with that navigation of starting and restarting this file. So you can see we still get a hello world right there. So that's basically it, how you can start your application. You can also start this by using npm start, and then you also run the, just like in React, and then it also run the application. So you can just also try that out. So you can just I'm just going to close this file for now, and then you can do npm start, and then just like that. So this is going to run again nodemon, and this is not going to run node, but it's actually going to run just the normal because we use node, so node app.js, and it's going to run this on the normal node. Okay, so if you refresh here, we still get a hello world right there. So that's basically how we start our application. And yeah, that's how you can simply create a simple hello world API using Node.js using Express. So in the next, using Node Express and Node Express and Node itself. So that's how you can simply create a simple CRUD API using Express. So in the next tutorial, we'll begin by creating going into depth about this, learning about the MVC structure and how to structure our project and all that stuff using MongoDB and all that stuff set up. So that we'll be doing in the next tutorial. So guys, if you enjoyed this tutorial so far, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thanks.